Morning. It's Thursday, January 19th, and I have to tell you, I've been watching Mayor Eric Adams of New York City since he took office, and I think that he is doing a good job, a very good job. He's straight out front, he tells it like it is, and he's trying to clean up the city in many, many ways. And he will go to different places within the country to get ideas and to see what other people are doing. Just take a look at what he did when those busloads of migrants showed up on our doorstep in the city of New York. He stepped right up and he made sure those people were taken care of. And they keep coming. They keep coming from Texas. And Greg Abbott and DeSantis, they're shipping people all over the country. But Adams didn't flinch. He went ahead and did that job. And yes, now he's asking for the money that he feels he's entitled to take care of these people. And that's the right thing. And I think that Texas themselves should chip in a little bit. But that's a whole other issue. I don't really want to talk about the immigration issue. I want to talk about Adams's pet project. Now, his pet project is not house pets like cats and dogs or even monkeys. It's a serious health problem that exists in New York. And I'm talking about the rat population. And I can tell you, I know a little bit about the rat population because I saw them up close when I worked down at 345 Hudson Street on the Lower West Side of Manhattan, which is a terrible train ride from my house in the Bronx. But nevertheless, I'm working for Miles Shoes in their warehouse, and occasionally I have to go down into the basement to do something or to find something or whatever it was. And I encountered these rats. And these guys were not afraid of you. They didn't run away when they saw you coming. And they were big. They were big. They could be a foot long, maybe even bigger than that. But I was, what was I at that time, 18 years old, but I didn't mess with them. I just stayed away from them, and I let everybody know that I saw them in the building, but you couldn't get rid of them. Whatever they tried to do, those rats were still there. And Eric Adams is seeing the same thing. These rats are in the city, and they are staying here, and he is determined to execute his pet project, which is to get rid of these rats. Now, rats have been around for a long time, and they are stubborn critters. So I don't know if he'll be able to get rid of all the rats, but he has a plan to at least reduce the size of the rat population. And so he has encouraged the use of special Italian-made traps throughout the 5 boroughs. Now, Mayor Adams discovered this trap, which was first being used in an Egyptian-style restaurant in the West Village. The owner of this restaurant saw that he had the rat population all around his restaurant, and certainly that was very disturbing to him because, if his customers see that, there will be a problem. So he went and he leased this trap from the Rat Trap Distribution Company. And he said, I couldn't afford to procrastinate. I went and got this rat trap immediately. And this is an Italian-made battery-operated device, which just looks like a square box. It could be sitting out on a shelf in a department store, and nobody would really notice it. But this device also caught the attention of Mayor Adams when he was early in his mayoralty, right? And in a radio interview earlier this year, he called these rat traps amazing, and he vowed to explore deploying them across the 5 boroughs once he was officially leading City Hall. And so he's kept that promise. And let me tell you what they do. They set the trap up. It's an innocuous little document. And then in order to get the rats to come to it, they use Oreo cookies. Peanut butter Oreos are the best cookies. And that information comes from the Rat Trap Distribution Director of Operations. While installing these contraptions, right, you put the cookies crumbled and placed in the top compartment of a 2-part trap, so to speak, along with sunflower seeds. And these act as lures. It's like fishing. Put a lure in this trap, and after a week or so, the rodents become accustomed to the free meal. And they crawl through the device's holes and they snack as much as they want. And once the rats become regulars and get comfortable, the device gets turned on and the platform will drop them into the lower part of the contraption. It serves as a catch basin, just like a dunking tank at a carnival booth. Once the rats fall in there, they drown because it's filled with liquid, some alcohol perhaps, and something that makes sure that it doesn't stink while it's decomposing. Now, this being the United States and New York, there are many who are not happy with this solution. I don't know if there's a lot of people, but there are many who are not happy with this solution. For some reason, this is considered a mistreatment of a small animal. There's a group that I never heard of. I mean, I know about the ASPCA and those people who protect animals, but this is a group called People for the Ethical Treatment of Animals, or PETA, P-E-T-A. And it prefers rodent control that focuses on garbage cleanup and sealing entry points. Well, let me tell you something. I don't care what you would try to seal and how much garbage you would try to find. These rats will find a way to get in there and get at whatever they consider the possibility of food. So they have said finding ways, new ways to torment and kill small animals, or simply trying to live their lives like any other New Yorker is a shanda. They're against it. They don't want these animals killed. Well, rats have a purpose on this earth, and maybe their purpose is to eat garbage and keep the population safe in that regard. But if there are too many of them, if we have an overpopulation of rats, we have a major problem, and they spread disease. Let us not forget that these little animals spread disease. So while you might want to save their lives, that will be a big mistake. So I think that Major Adams is doing the correct thing. He wants to control and reduce the rat population. And let us not forget that there are many humans who live in areas that are poorly maintained, and the rat population there is a threat to their lives. So where do you draw the line? Where do you draw this line between health and safety of the population and the life of a rat? So I think Adams is doing the correct thing. At least somebody is trying to clean up the city more than anybody's done as far as I can remember. Rats are not pleasant creatures. They are dangerous. So while I understand trying to save small animals, I'm not sure I would be in favor of saving rats. So I leave you with that this morning. The Rat Crusade. Take care. Bye.